Is it possible that the Nanoleaf 4D is one of the best TV backlights that you can purchase for your smart TV? That's a difficult one, but even more difficult is that I remove my Govee TV Backlight T2 from my Sony A95K. Is it possible that this one is going to replace my Govee? If you want to know that and much more, stay tuned until the end of the video. Hi everyone, Marcos here from MADpack, and if you love tech and if you love discounts, this is a place for you because everything that I bring to you guys have links on the description below, and today is not an exception. We'll be talking about the Nanoleaf 4D. How is the installation of this product? That is completely the opposite. I didn't like it whatsoever. We'll cover that. We'll talk also about the quality and the functions that you'll find on this one. Their app that I'll tell you if it's good, if it's bad, what is my thoughts and what you can really do in there with the Nanoleaf 4D. And also, obviously, in the end, I'll let you know if I have swapped from my Govee TV Backlight T2 that I love so much. Let's jump into the installation, and I have to say that this is going to be the biggest bummer. It really irritates me, and maybe irritates me more because I have other backlights. This is already the third company that sent me a backlight for my Sony A95K. I was really pleased with the way of installing the Govee TV Backlight T2. And when I say installing, I'm not talking about calibration. That's a completely different story. But when we talk about the Govee, for example, you have just a strip light here that connects with a cable and goes to the sides with another strip light, and you have another one on the bottom. When we jump into the Govee, the conversation is completely different. You have just one strip light that you have to calculate really well where you start, how you start, and since it's just one piece of LED, you have to do the curvature on the corners of your TV. And that's a big problem because we already know that these strip lights, they have this 3M glue on the back. And I think that the glue that they have choose to put on the Nanoleaf 4D, it's a bit weak. So before you even think to install your Nanoleaf 4D into your TV, you should purchase some alcohol to clean your TV really well before you install. And when we talk about installation, also another thing that is important is that you don't try to do any curvatures to your LEDs, because I tried to do that. It seems really tough and really thick, and much thicker than any LEDs that I tried until today. But when I tried to do the curvatures on the back of my Sony A95K, I basically damaged the LED. So I had to ask to Nanoleaf to send me another one to be able to reinstall and do this video. So that's a big issue. And I hope that in future generations, Nanoleaf decides to give us a solution that is just one strip light on the top, two strip lights on the sides, and another one on the bottom, because in that way, since it's just a straight line, the possibilities that these LEDs, they will just unglue from your TV is much less probable. Since you have the LEDs going into these corners of your TV, what is going to happen is these corners, when it is related with what is happening on the TV, is much more accurate than other solutions that I have tried. Even if this is a problem how to install, it gives you some benefits, but trying to glue to a Sony, it's not the best because it was really challenging. So let's talk about build construction, what you can really expect from Nanoleaf. And if you have other Nanoleaf products, you already know is, in my opinion, one of the best build constructions that you have on the market. For a reason, also you pay the price. But when we talk about the price here, even if I put side by side with the Govee TV Backlight T2, the price is exactly the same. So that's not really a problem because their price is exactly the same. But when we talk about the camera, I was really a bit concerned since I had a solution installed on my TV with two cameras and this was just one camera. I was a bit concerned that the coverage of the screen will be inferior than the Govee TV Backlight T2. But I have to say to you guys that I really like all the construction. I like the magnets that you have with the cover that you can just put it on the back of your camera and it stays there. And the stand could be better construction, to be honest, because obviously, once again, when we talk about the Govee TV Backlight T2, the camera is much more solid because you have two cameras and all the plastic, it feels more substantial. and the support that where is installed my camera is a bit thinner in plastic. So maybe that part is the one that also in quality is a bit inferior, but all the rest, the build construction, in my opinion, is really, really good. And the camera works really, really well. When we talk about the controller that I have there on the bottom, I have to say to you guys that is definitely my favorite because all the design of it. I like that the button to turn on and turn off is completely on the front. I have a button specifically to turn on 4D, so definitely a plus, and you have a few more features there to use it. I really like the control box. I think is much better, and for me is really important that with this one you can basically connect to HomeKit. So let's talk about the app and what is my thoughts about this one. And I have to say that Nanoleaf do the best app that you have on the market, in my opinion, but in the same time, I think that they could make it a little bit easier. I think they complicate a little bit too much. When you open, for example, your Nanoleaf, on the top you have straight away turn on and turn off, and you can change the brightness of your light. Like you can see, I just have basically drop everything and I just bring it up. You have one menu that is basically basic color, so you can have just one basic color. You have the menu on the middle that is 4D, and we'll talk about that in a second. And obviously after you have the scenes, and this one that we have on the back is basically a scene that is happening. And you can customize and do whatever you want with this one. After such a bad experience installing, it was so good to have an amazing experience to calibrate, because since I have a video that is how to calibrate the Govee TV Backlight T2 and I have over 40,000 views, I think a lot of you guys had that issue. Definitely that issue will not exist with the Nanoleaf 4D. Very simple. When you open the app, you need to do the calibration. It will ask you, do you have the camera on the top? Do you have the camera on the bottom? Select which ones you want. Don't put it on the bottom. It's so much better if you put it on the top. If you want to put it on the bottom, I have to say that the Govee TV Backlight T2 is better. Put it on the top, it works flawlessly. And also I didn't like it, the design of it, to put it on the bottom, because you have like a piece of plastic that you open to create an angle of your camera, but it's very easy to close again. So imagine that you are going to clean the table where you have your TV, and that will change the angle. So you have to constantly recalibrate it, even if it's easy. After you have decided where to put your camera, you are going to calibrate the corners, you are going to set it up your camera where it's filming the screen, and that's it. And I'll do a video about that and what is my settings and how to take the best profit of your Nanoleaf 4D. So don't worry, I have you covered if you decided to purchase this one. But another thing before we dive even more in here, if you are not sure if you should purchase a solution like this or you should purchase a HDMI box, it's really good, it's really accurate, the best until today, but if I want to just send something from my phone, it will not work. So because of that, I prefer to have a solution that I don't have to worry about things passing through a cable to work. The quality of the camera, even the performance of the camera is really, really impressive. Something that I was not expecting. The support of the camera, I think it could be better. I'm a bit disappointed how thin it is, but in the same time, I think they've done that to don't be so intrusive. That's a pro. Since they have a support that is going to be set it up in a specific way, I liked that they have like a screw, if you think, that we can attach and basically will not move anymore. I completely understand the design, but I would like to see better plastic, if it makes sense, where you can, for example, cover even the cable that comes from the camera. When we talk about the control on the bottom, I have to say that is my favorite. Because of the design of it, it's very easy for me to just reach here on the bottom and turn on and turn off. I really like the fact that you have a dedicated button that you can just turn on 4D, and when I press there, I also turn on Sync Plus. And don't worry, I'll let you know what is Sync Plus, but it is a game changer. I really like the app from Nanoleaf. The first impression is that it's too complicated, and it is. Until you are not familiar with the app, it's a bit like now where I need to go. Oh, I press this, what should I do? And I found some issues, and I have to say that this one was the worst just to set it up, not just the installation, but even to find on the app. So if you are doing for the first time, press on the on and on the bottom, more on the right, and stay pressing for 60 seconds. I will definitely recommend to do a reset since you are trying to install. But after that is in here and you know what is what, I think the app is more than fine. And when we talk about design, is my favorite. On the app, I have to say to you guys, if you want the maximum types of customization, this is the app for you. So even if, imagine you like, how is it this one, this is a scene, but you wanted the scene to be faster or slower, you can change that. And there is a lot of brands that don't allow you to do that. So definitely a plus. If you want just a solid color, you can do that. And also you have what they call the 4D. That will cover in a second what it basically delivers to you. When we talk about scenes, you can basically download the scenes that you want. So it's not like the MADpack products that you are a little bit limited, so you can just download up to 12 scenes. But at the minute, having scenes on MADpack products is basically not a big thing because they don't really allow you to be turned on in automation, so you are just staying with a solid color. So until now, scenes on MADpack products is not the best, but since this one is a thread product, you can do that, so definitely a plus. But when we jump into the 4D, I have to say to you guys that I really love it. It's really good. So first of all, you can just turn off. So if you don't want it, just turn off. You have one mode that is the 1D. The 1D is very simple. Is, if you think about it, is just turning on the light and turning off the light. So if the scenes that you are seeing is really bright, it's going to turn on, and if the scene is not really bright, it's going to turn off. When you jump to a 2D, I have to say to you guys that it's the same, but it's going to see what is the main color and it's going to turn on that light. It's not really bright, it's going to turn off. So you are going to have similar to the 1D, but just adding some color. When you go to the 3D, I have to say to you guys that I didn't really like it. For me, it's too much happening. Maybe if you are playing games and stuff like that, it will be cool, but I'm not a big fan of it. And after you have 4D, that for me is my favorite if you calibrate it properly, but even that you have cinematic and vivid. Vivid, in my opinion, is horrible. It's too much colors, too much light. It's definitely not for me. The cinema is almost there, almost, and when I say almost, it's very close to my settings, but it's not what I wanted. Hey, I'm not a fan of this, but you can turn on rhythms. But now let's talk about the thing that I think is more impressive, that is Sync Plus, and I think is going to be a game changer for your living room if you have a Nanoleaf living room if you want, because obviously to have this working you need more Nanoleaf products. I can connect my Nanoleaf 4D to other thread devices from Nanoleaf. In the future you'll be able to also connect, for example, these essential bulbs that I have, one here, one there, and one there. I'll be able to connect them also, or even the strip lights that we'll do also the review really soon, but we'll be able to connect all these to the Sync Plus and say in which parts of the room they are, and they will react depending on what happens in the screen. Really impressive, because at the minute, unfortunately, I can't put everything working together, but I can put my limited edition hexagons from Nanoleaf because it's also a thread product. And that gives you the sensation that the room is much bigger and they work really well. One thing that I think that Nanoleaf could do better is really on the app, for example, say how is the room? What is the dimensions of the room? Where is your TV? Is it against a wall or is it in the center? And also, since Nanoleaf knows what is the design that you have with your panels, I would like that we can say how far that design starts from the floor. Because in that way, if you do from the one that is connected from the bottom, imagine the one that is connected first to the wall, that one they will know straight away, okay, that one starts really on the corner of my living room and the design goes in that direction. In other words, my Nanoleaf 4D really knows where it's sitting on my living room and how far is from the floor. I think it's important to know how far is your TV from the floor. Is it really close to the floor? Is it in the wall? If they manage to also be able to change and tweak this, we can make this super accurate. It's already good, but it can be even better. This is just starting point of the Sync Plus, and if you go on the app, it's even saying really soon you'll be able to connect all these other products. I think Sync Plus can give you a bit the sensation that you have when you go to the cinema to see a 4D film. Obviously, your sofa will not move, but it's a bit of that you have when you turn on Sync Plus. So before I let you know which one is going to be the backlight TV that is going to stick to my Sony A95K, I want to point it out 5 reasons for me to decide which ones to install. when we talk about disadvantage, I see two big disadvantages to swap to the Nanoleaf 4D. One of them is I never really liked the camera on the top. I prefer to see the camera on the bottom because it's less visible. But hopefully the design of it is not so bulky as the one that you find on the Govee TV Backlight T2. The next one that is a massive bummer for me is how to install these LEDs on this backlight TV. They are going to come off, and there is parts they are not glued to the TV because the top of the TV is much thinner than the rest. So when we talk about cosmetic, I can see that, and that is going to be a massive bummer for me. When we talk about advantages, I see three, and two of them, they are connected. We'll go there in a second. First one, I have to say Sync Plus. Sync Plus is already good, and I can't wait to have MADpack products jumping into this synchronization. And you can tell me, Govee also give you that. Yeah, it's true, it will give you that, but it doesn't give you on the app an option to say, that light is in that corner, that light is in the other corner, the other one is on the back of the room. You don't have that. If I want to have everything in one platform, I can have everything in HomeKit. So if you want the Govee TV Backlight T2, you can have HomeKit, or you can if you have a bridge. But in that case, you'll have HomeKit connected to the bridge and the bridge connected to the Govee TV Backlight T2. So it's more things connected to each other. In other words, and if you are just starting in HomeKit, when more things you try to connect different brands, etc., trying to do automations together, that is going to be an issue because they can enter in conflict with each other. And if something goes wrong with a smart home, many times you have to just restart all your house, all the automations, and I can tell you, it's not funny. It's really not funny whatsoever. And another thing that I really like is the fact that I can having all the automations inside HomeKit. What is my decision? And I decided to join Nanoleaf with the Nanoleaf 4D. I think there is obviously things to improve on this product, but it's insane. It's much more dynamic like it was the LYTMI Neo Fantasy 3, and that's why I removed the Govee TV Backlight T2 from my living room, and now this is the new one that I have installed. Not thinking that the Govee is bad, I think they can improve more in software, but this was my decision. What do you think? Is it good? Is it bad? Let me know in the comments below. My name is Marco, this is MADpack. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, comment below, smash a thumbs up, do whatever you want, but always with a smile on your face, and I hope to see you in the next one.